Let's take a couple of moments and we're going to check out SiriusXM operation on your Pioneer NEX head unit. Even though your particular receiver may have buttons on the side or across the bottom like this one, the on-screen operation in this demonstration is identical for the following Pioneer NEX models: AVH 4100 NEX, 4200 NEX, and 4201 NEX, AVIC 5100 NEX, 5200 NEX, and 5201 NEX, AVIC 6100 NEX, 6200 NEX, 6201 NEX, AVIC 7100 NEX, 7200 NEX, 7201 NEX, AVIC 8100 NEX, 8200 NEX, and AVIC 8201 NEX. Please note, in this video, I'll be using the optional SXV300 tuner available for purchase from SiriusXM. And if you need some additional information about how the tuner attaches to your head unit, be sure to check out the unboxing video for your particular NEX receiver. On the SiriusXM source, there's a ton of information on the screen and a lot of different ways to operate the tuner. So the first thing we'll look at is changing the channel. Right now you can see we're on channel 70, and when we have a channel on, we have the name of the channel, the name of the artist, and the name of the song that's playing right now. And if SiriusXM is broadcasting it, we'll also get album art on the screen, but that's a broadcast from SiriusXM. Not every song or artist will have album art. If we want to change a channel, we have a couple of different ways to do that. We could use the arrow keys right here that are on the screen, or we could just touch the number on the screen. That brings up a keypad, and here we can punch in another channel number, like this one, hit enter, and we go directly to that channel. Another way that we can choose a different channel is to use the search function over here. That opens up the category search, and we can scroll along here to find a category that we like. Choose the category. Now, in the category search, you have some cool information happening here too. Right now, we're on the name of the channel. If we touch the information button up here, we get the name of the artist that's playing on that channel right now. Touch information again, we get the name of the song that's playing on that channel. Touch it one more time, we get the number of the channel, and touch it one more time, we're back around to the name of the channel. So I'm going to scroll along here to Bluesville and choose that one. And that takes us to that particular channel. Also, in the category search, we have the scan button up here, and if I choose the scan button, we will scan through all of the channels in that particular category. So by touching the scan button here, I will scroll through and give a short preview to each of the channels in the jazz, standards, and classical category. If you like what you're listening to, all you have to do is touch the play button to continue listening to that channel. Next up, let's talk about Tune Scan and Tune Mix. These are two different ways to use the buffer system built into the tuner. So over here I have a button called Replay. If I touch the Replay button, you see that I show a scrubber bar across the bottom of the screen here. And here I have a play and pause function that I can use as well. So right now this song is playing, but you can see we have about 25 or so minutes of buffer area. And there's a number of different ways that we can use this buffer. First thing is you can just touch the scrubber bar on the screen and drag it backwards if you want to go back to a different song or a different part of the song. We can also use the hard keys on the screen, where we can jump forward a song or jump backwards. So we're in the buffer right now, and if we want to go back to playing live music, we'll just touch the live button. That takes us out to the live broadcast. Now, Tune Scan and Tune Mix do a couple of different things with the radio station presets that we have. So we have 6 radio station presets on SiriusXM band number 1 here. And if I touch the Tune Scan button, we will scan through the radio station presets and hear the songs that have been playing on the radio station presets. And that's the information that's stored inside the buffer. If you want to hear a song, just touch play and you're listening to that song. With Tune Mix, we'll take all of the songs that are in the buffer and mix them together into a SiriusXM mix of tunes. on the SiriusXM source, we have 18 radio station presets to work with. If I open my radio station preset window here, you can see where we have the first 6 available on SiriusXM number 1 here. And if I scroll down like this, I have 6 more radio stations to work with. And then if I scroll along again, I have 6 more. So that gives me a total of 18 radio station presets on SiriusXM. If I want to tune in a particular radio station and make a preset, we're on channel 21 right now. I can tune in another channel, 22, and I can press and hold a radio station preset button for a couple of seconds till it beeps, and that created this particular station as radio station preset number 3 on SiriusXM band number 2. We'll close up the window here. If I touch that again, I get to SXM3 or radio station presets band number 3. Touch it one more time. And the featured system is something you can choose to turn on or off in the settings. If we open this, we have some featured radio station presets, different channels and different artists from SiriusXM. And if we touch that one more time, we go back around to our original 6 radio station presets. So let's close up that window and we'll check out some of the settings on SiriusXM. Now, to see the settings, you have to have the SiriusXM source switched on, which we do right now. And we'll touch the gears up here, and we want to go to the toolbox and then the AV source settings. Under the AV source settings, we'll see the SiriusXM settings. First thing we see here is tune start, and right now we can choose to switch tune start on or off. With tune start, I like to keep this switched on because that means after I've been driving my car for 5 or 10 minutes, every time I touch one of my radio station presets, the song will start from the beginning. The tune will start from the beginning. And that works with the buffer in the system. It takes 5 or 10 minutes for the buffer to fill up, and then you can, every time you touch a radio station preset like this, you'll be tuning in the song that starts from the beginning. Let's go back to our settings here. Next up is parental control. Certain channels on SiriusXM can have some adult language on it. If you want to tune that stuff out, lock it out of your system, you can do that with the parental control settings right here. Next up is our alert list. And here we can choose, or we can see the sports alerts that we have set up in the system. Right now I have one sports alert set up in the system here. I can choose to switch the alerts on or off, and I can delete the sports alerts that I have set up for myself. Next up are the team settings. If you're a fan of particular teams, you can go into the settings here and choose what teams you would like to get information from. And next up is our featured favorites here. Right now I have featured favorites switched on, and we also have featured band messages. These two things are kind of linked together. You can choose to switch these things on or off right here. If you choose to have them switched on, occasionally SiriusXM will give you an update, and you'll see a message on the screen that says the featured bands have been updated. And if you check the featured bands band on your tuner, you'll see the bands that are featured by SiriusXM for that month or that period of time. Next up is Sports Flash, and we can choose to switch Sports Flash on or off. And this will give you information about your favorite teams, and you can choose your favorite teams based on your team settings. We'll roll down here and check the Sports Flash list, and here we can see the information listed that has come up about your particular sports teams, and you can edit the list here. Next up is our city setting. So we're going to go out to the main SiriusXM screen here. This is the city information right here for traffic and weather, and this is basically a radio station preset to get traffic and weather information for the particular city that you are interested in. So we'll go back to our settings here, AV source, and back into SiriusXM settings. We'll scroll down back to the city settings here. You can choose different cities to get information about. If you don't want those cities to show up, you can choose no city selected. You won't get any of that information. We'll go back up here. And the last one is SiriusXM Reset. If you ever need to reset the tuner, you can do that here, but you can see that that is grayed out right now, and that's because we're on the SiriusXM source. So if I change the source to something else, like HD radio, and now we'll go back into the settings, There's the toolbox, AV source settings, and SiriusXM. If I scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see you can reset the SiriusXM tuner if you have the tuner switched off. When you're done making those adjustments, you can just hit the X to escape.